Emotions are running high on the campus of Alabama State. Fans and alumni hype as their football team are now winners of 6 straight games after starting off 0-3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Steam, the show that keeps you up to date with not only Alabama State football, but news, updates, and coverage around the HBCU world as well. Let's do a recap of the Magic City Classic. Now, Alabama A&M came to this game at 1-7, losers of 2 straight. The Hornets came in winning 5 straight games, but the records had no indication of how this game was going to turn out. It was back and forth from the start. At one point, we was on the verge of going up 21-14 when it was tied at 14. But then Bobby Newton threw a bad pass and it was picked off by the free safety Mason for Alabama A&M. They went on to score on the following drive and went up 21-14. And then eventually we had to tie the game at halftime, which we did. Then second half came. Same thing. Back and forth. Back and forth. No defense could stop anybody. But then on the final drive, we finally get a big play from Bobby Newton to Andrew Williams inside the 5. We eventually hit the game-winning field goal. We get out of Huntsville with a big-time victory over our much-hated enemies. Now, people will look at this game and be like, wait a minute, they were 1-8. How is this a big win? Well, we needed this win because as of right now, Jackson State is still undefeated in conference play. They're still undefeated, and that's who we got next week. But back to this game, Alex Bird was a beast. He stood out for the A&M Bulldogs. Jason White made some big-time plays. Andrew Williams made the biggest play of the game. Justin Chambers had a quiet 100 yards rushing. And also, another big-time play with the sack on Blake Rollins, even though they did score on the following play. But Bryant, the quarterback for Alabama A&M, is going to be a problem in the future. This Bulldog team is full of freshmen, just like the Hornets. They have 2 big-time players on defense. I believe Parks is a senior now, but Matt Spencer will still be back, the middle linebacker. So we get out of the 256 area with a big-time win. We take the 2.5-hour drive back down I-65 back to the Gump Town. And we're celebrating. What a big game. That was a big game. One of the greatest Magic City Classics ever. Now let's check out the rest of the HBCU world, shall we? So yeah, you see we won the Magic City Classic. We won by 3 points. We're at 6-3. Mississippi Valley State beat Alcorn State 31-14. Meanwhile, up there in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Prairie View beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 21-3. Texas Southern beat Bethune-Cookman. Grambling State lose to Southern in the Bayou Classic. That game actually went to overtime. That looked like a fight right there. And then Jackson State hangs on to beat Florida A&M 21-20. So that means Jackson State is now 5-0 in conference play, right behind us. Meanwhile, over at the Sun Belt, aka the MEAC, North Carolina A&T beat Hampton. Tennessee State beat Howard. South Carolina State beat Delaware State 31-24. And then Norfolk beat Morgan State, destroyed them. So it looks like it's between South Carolina State and Tennessee State for the MEAC Sun Belt title. Meanwhile, the Heisman race looks like this. Adrian Peterson is fading away. Chris Leak is in first place. Ryan Hawk, the running back for Texas, is in second, followed by Andre Caldwell, rest in peace, the wide receiver for Florida, Marcus Pearman, the quarterback out of Boise State. Yeah, that's a surprise. Then Jermaine Whitehead, the man that threw the ball all over us in season 1, rounds out the Heisman watch list for now. So let's look at the players of the week. So you have Antonio Wagner and Jonathan Ferguson of the MEAC SWAC. Wow, man. Look at these numbers though. 231 on 11 catches, 7 tackles. Yee! Meanwhile, over at the Sunbelt, aka the MEAC, you have Joseph Russell and Chance Leach as players of the week. 8 tackles for Leach and 2 sacks and a forced fumble. Wow. So the standings look like this in the MEAC SWAC. Right now, Mississippi Valley State has the edge over Prairie View. Meanwhile, it's between us and Jackson State for the MEAC SWAC West title. And that's who we got next week. We got Jackson State coming to town, and we had to avenge our loss, our heartbreaking loss from last year in season 1. So that wraps up the Sting. Thank you for watching. Peace.